Good morning. Thank you for being patient. As we sort of work through the logistics, we've got people who have to be at different hearings, and so we were trying to organize all the schedules so everybody could be in and out. I would like to call the Senate Finance Committee to order, and would the Secretary please call the roll?
Senator Cannizzaro, Senator Goycochea, Senator Harris, Senator Neal, Senator Wynn, Senator Severs-Gansert, Senator Titus, Chair Don Darrell-Loop.
Here. Thank you very much, and I believe everyone is here, so thank you very much. We're going to do things just a little out of order. We're going to hear Assembly Bill 464, and then we're going to go into work session because we have members who need to be out to do their bill hearings. So we'll let Ms. Erdos come and present her bill so she can get on to work. Then we'll do a work session, and then we'll hear the rest of the bills. So thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Brenda Erdos, representing the Legislative Council Bureau. I appreciate your time this morning. We actually requested this appropriation to facilitate the completion of construction more quickly, with the hope that you won't have construction during the next legislative session. And that's what the use of this would be for as we go along. I would also point out that the subsection 2 of section 1 is provides that any money that's not expended before June 30th would go back to the State General Fund, and that's to ensure there is no conflict with the Education First constitutional provision. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions on this bill? Senator Titus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just on thank you for being here, Ms. Erdos, but wondering about the ability to actually expend everything by June 30th of 2023. So that's like 6 weeks.
We are not, at this point, when we asked for the money originally, we were not, we were thinking it might go earlier, but we still think that we can spend most, if not all of it, by engaging the architect to get the plans done. And there's some tests that we need to get done, like soil tests, and odd things that I don't know much about, but they are, if we can pay and get them done more quickly, then we can start the project more quickly once all the plans are done.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Senator Gansert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want some clarity on which projects is this money? Is this for everything down in Clark County, or is there other work up here, or for what projects?
Thank you for the question, Brenda Erdos. For the record, this actually started out as an appropriation as it was introduced for $1,050,000, and that money was all for the front project of this building, to get the plans going on that so that we could get the construction started hopefully this fall. We added the other $500,000 by amendment, and that we think that there may be some more projects here in Carson, but there also may be some things like plans for the garage in Las Vegas, and some testing there for projects there, if that does come up. But initially, it's mostly for this project out front.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional questions for Ms. Erdos? All right, with that, I will close the hearing and we'll go to support. Is there anyone here in support of Assembly Bill 464? Seeing nobody in Las Vegas. Phone lines, is there anybody on the phone? BPS, good morning.
Yes, we're here.
Is there anyone on the line in support of Assembly Bill 464?
Yes, there. Yes, we have one caller.
Thank you.
Chair, we're having some technical difficulties at the moment.
Thank you.
You would like to offer testimony in support of AB 464, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue.
Good morning, Madam Chair and the committee. This is Dora Martinez representing the Nevada Disability Creation Coalition. My apologies for the background noise. I'm at the gym currently. People with disability, my members will support this bill, given that everything will be ADA compliance. And thank you so much, everything you do. Have a great day.
Thank you very much. BPS, anyone else on the line for support?
Thank you, Chair. There are no further callers for support at this time.
Thank you very much. Anyone in opposition here in Carson City? Anyone, seeing no one in Las Vegas? Anyone on the phone lines, BPS, in opposition?
If you would like to offer testimony in opposition to AB 464, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. There are no callers to offer opposition testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. Anyone here in Carson City in neutral? Seeing no one in Las Vegas. Anyone on the phone lines in neutral? BPS, go ahead when you're ready, please.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to offer neutral testimony to AB 464, please press star 9 now to take your place in the queue. There are no callers to offer a neutral testimony at this time.
Thank you very much. All right, with that, Ms. Erdos, any closing comments? Okay, with that, we'll close the hearing on Assembly Bill 464, and we're going to introduce some BDRs and do a little work session real quick, and then we'll get on to the bills. So stay tuned, hang on. All right, we have two BDR introductions, BDR 11S1132 and BDR 40-1214, and Mr. Thorley will go over those for us.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. At your desks, you should have copies of both the BDRs that the Chair mentioned. These are BDRs which require committee introduction. Both of them were submitted by the Governor's Finance Office. BDR S1132 contains various one-shot appropriations for the Department of Tourism and Cultural Affairs. And then BDR 40-1214 revises provisions relating to certain arbitrations concerning the cost of medically necessary emergency services. This BDR, again, was submitted by GFO and is a budget implementation bill. Happy to answer any questions that the committee members might have.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any questions on these BDRs? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion. So moved by Senator Wynn, second by Senator Canizaro. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Thank you very much. All right, we will now move to the work session. And Mr. Thorley, go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Assembly Bill 464 was just presented by LCB Director Erdos. Happy to answer any questions that any committee members might have. If the committee wishes to move this bill, the appropriate motion would be for a due pass.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'll accept a motion. Senator Canizaro, a second from Senator Wynn. Any discussion on the motion? Senator Gocochea, please go ahead.
Yes, I'm going to support this because clearly we're going to have some plans. I don't care whether we're talking north, south, or in between, and $1.5 million here at this point would probably be money well spent.
Thank you very much, sir. Senator Gansert.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to be a no on that since we haven't really figured out what we're doing north and south. The projects are pretty significant. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Seeing no other discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Nay from Senator Titus and Senator Gansert. Motion passes. Thank you very much. Please go ahead, Mr. Thorley. Oh, I'll take the floor statement on that, Mr. Thorley. Thank you. All right, now we can go back to business on the agenda. And next up, we will hear Senate Bill 390, which enacts provisions related to neurodegenerative diseases. Here to present the bill is Senator Scheibel. Senator, thank you for being patient with us this morning. And please go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you so much for hearing my bill this morning. My name is Melanie Scheibel. I'm the state senator for District 9, and I'm happy to be in front of you presenting SB 390. This is my first hearing in Senate Finance this year, so apologies if I'm a little bit rusty, but the purpose of Senate Bill 390 is to develop a statewide registry of neurodegenerative diseases, including Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and multiple sclerosis. I am working with the stakeholders on another amendment to add multiple sclerosis to the list of diseases to be included initially, and we'll gladly get that to you before a work session if I'm so lucky as to have one. And I can go through the sections of the bill if you'd like, Madam Chair, or I can just kind of briefly summarize the policy objectives.
I think summarize will be fine. Thank you.
Excellent. I've been working with the Department of Brain Health at UNLV, and they've agreed to work alongside the Department of Health and Human Services on developing this registry. And there will be no impact financially to the Department of Health and Human Services. However, the University of Nevada Las Vegas is seeking some initial monies in the amount of $150,000 to get the registry started up. We've been working very closely with professors there and the director of the department to ensure that they'll be able to seek grant funding in addition to matching funds from federal programs in order to stand up this database. And the purpose of standing up the neurodegenerative disease database is threefold. Number one, it is to collect statistical data about the occurrence of neurodegenerative diseases, outcomes of treatments, and the populations in Nevada who are affected by neurodegenerative diseases. The second purpose of it is to develop a registry of people who would be available in and interested in research opportunities. So basically we're talking about when doctors at a university anywhere in the country decide they want to do a study on Alzheimer's patients or multiple sclerosis patients, they have a way that is covered by HIPAA, protected, to reach out to individuals who have been diagnosed who may be interested in taking part in those studies. So we can learn more about neurodegenerative diseases and search for cures. And then the third purpose of having the registry is to do the same thing in reverse and to be able to reach out to individuals who have been affected by neurodegenerative diseases and keep them up to date with new research, opportunities for treatment, resources, local support groups, things like that. And the whole registry would be designed to be an opt-in system, so nobody would be required to participate, but the part of the purpose of the funding would be to help allow the University of Nevada, Las Vegas to do outreach to doctors' offices, hospitals, primary care providers, other neurologist specialists who often come in contact with these patients, and ensure that we are setting up a workable and useful system. I'll also mention that I've worked closely with the Michael J. Fox Foundation on this bill. They are working on several similar bills in other states to develop a nationwide registry, and the bill was carefully crafted to ensure that all of the information we would be collecting, the way that we would be collecting it, and the places that it would be housed would be compatible with other registries as they come online. So the goal is one day to have a 50-state registry so that we're able to take a look nationally at trends and patterns and continue to do research. And so I really hope that you guys will help me to help make Nevada part of the pioneers in this area. And with that, I'm open for questions.
Senator Titus.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and again, thank you for bringing this forward. And I was hesitant and voted nay on this on the policy of it, but specifically because there was a burden of maybe opting, you must opt out, but this sounds like you could have to opt in. And I don't see any fees or penalties for not doing this, and that was one of my major concerns. Have they been removed then?
That's correct, Senator.
Great, thank you. And the other concern that I had was that there's so many of these, and you answered what I had hoped you would say, and that was now MS is going to be rolled into this. So those were my main objections, so thank you for bringing this forward.
Thank you very much. Any additional comments or questions? I don't see any. Would you repeat the fiscal note? I believe I have it in front of me, but would you let us know how much that is, please?
The fiscal note from the Department of Health and Human Services is 0.
Okay, thank you very much. Am I clear that there is a general fund appropriation to UNLV?
Yes, I am requesting. There is a appropriation to UNLV of $150,000.
Thank you very much. And I appreciate this. That goes hand in hand with my multiple sclerosis bill. So I support this concept and would be happy to be on your bill.
I hope you'll join my bill. Thank you.
Anyone else have any questions or comments? You looked like you were thinking, Senator.
It's just a slow morning.
Okay, it's all right. Okay, thank you. With that, we'll go to support of Senate Bill 390 here in Carson City. Please come forward. And please say your name for the record.
Yes. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Dr. Mindy Lokshin, MindyLokshin for the record. I am a retired family physician and I have a master's in public health. I urge you to support SB 390 for 3 reasons. One is to better identify the number of people in our state affected by neurodegenerative diseases. Parkinson's disease is the fastest growing neurodegenerative disease worldwide. Alzheimer's and MS and other forms of dementia are very difficult to diagnose and have limited treatment options at this time. Due to a severe shortage of physicians in our state, and particularly of neurologists, we actually do not have very good statistics for the rate or the incidence of these diseases. And based on recent national studies, we can estimate there would be at least 40,000 people in the state of Nevada suffering from neurodegenerative diseases. We need better data in order to properly allocate resources for public health, disability support, and medical education. The second reason is to better identify the risks and hopefully begin preventive measures. Nevada has one of the fastest growing aged populations due to being a popular retirement destination. We also have a large veteran population. Both are groups that are at higher risk for developing neurodegenerative disorders. We need a research registry to help better track our population and identify the risk factors in order to decrease risk in the future. And the third reason is to better involve our community in research. People are becoming more and more resourceful and interested in self-education regarding their own health. This research registry would have a public-facing portal for people to opt in to medical studies. This would greatly increase their understanding of their symptoms and disease and would significantly improve research and allocation of medical resources. So for the over 40,000 Nevadans with neurodegenerative disorders and the millions without, we need this research registry to properly identify those affected, to begin reducing the risks of developing these diseases, and to provide a way for people to opt in to research. The fiscal note, as stated, was a small price to pay for the number of Nevadans who will benefit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional in support here in Carson City? Seeing none in Las Vegas. Oh, hurry, Ms. Grimmer, hurry. We're quick around here. Got to pay attention and don't bug people in class, Mr. Kane. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair, committee members. Misty Grimmer representing the Nevada Alzheimer's Association. I won't repeat all of the statistics that Ms. Mindy put on the record, but they're absolutely important. And creating a comprehensive system of care around neurodegenerative diseases is extremely important, and also supporting UNLV in their research efforts. As UNLV is, of course, as we all know, becoming a very respected research institution, so I think we're the perfect home for this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Any additional support here in Carson City? Seeing none in Las Vegas, BPS, we'll go to the phone lines. Anyone in support?
If you'd like to testify in support of SB 390, please press *9 to take your place in the queue.
Good afternoon, or good morning, Chair and members of this committee. My name is Catherine Nielsen. Many of you know me from my professional role, but I'm speaking today as a constituent only. My aunt was diagnosed with MS in her 70s. My father-in-law just a few weeks ago was diagnosed with Parkinson's. However, let me briefly tell you more about my immediate family of 5. My husband and I share 3 daughters. I was 27 when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis and severe epilepsy. My husband, who's nearly 33, is in the beginning stages of developing a disease rather similar to frontotemporal dementia. Some of you may be familiar with this terrible disease as the one Mr. Bruce Willis was recently diagnosed with. Many patients have seizures and other ailments that go alongside of this degenerative brain condition. When we got married, I envisioned him and I growing old together, rocking and matching chairs on our front porch. This dream for us will not happen, and we know this. We need this registry to ensure that our future and our future generations do not encounter what we have. It's vital that this bill passes to allow for earlier access to information and hopefully prolong the life and livelihoods for those who receive these devastating diagnoses. As a constituent, I am begging you to pass this measure. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us today. Any additional neutral on the line? I'm sorry, support on the line.
Good morning, Madam Chair and the rest of the committee. This is Dora Martinez representing the Nevada Disability Action Coalition. This is a common sense bill, and we thank Melanie Scheibel for sponsoring this. We appreciate you, and please, we support this bill. We're begging you to pass it. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. Any additional support on the line, BPS?
Hello, Chairwoman Loop, can you hear me?
I can.
Okay, good morning, Chairwoman and members of the committee. My name is Zachary Hardy, and I am a State Government Relations Officer for the Michael J. Fox Foundation for Parkinson's Research. Thank you for the opportunity to testify on behalf of SB 390, which authorizes the University of Nevada, Las Vegas to establish and maintain a system for the reporting and analysis of information on neurodegenerative diseases. The Fox Foundation was founded in 2000 and has been dedicated to finding a cure for Parkinson's disease through an aggressively funded research agenda while ensuring the development of improved therapies for those living with Parkinson's today. We believe that the establishment of statewide registries to collect data on neurodegenerative diseases is a critical step to understanding these diseases and their impacts on patients. SB 390 would establish a system for Nevada to collect data on Parkinson's disease that will provide data on the incidence and prevalence of the disease and its various patterns in the state. The registry will provide a real-world view of clinical practice and patient outcomes while providing data on geographic clusters, disparities in treatments for underrepresented communities, and the link between military service and the development of Parkinson's. Additionally, this data will help identify high-risk groups, support patient contact studies, and serve as a valuable data resource to prevent and optimally manage Parkinson's disease. By passing this legislation, Nevada would be joining California, Maryland, Nebraska, South Carolina, Utah, Washington, and West Virginia in establishing systems dedicated to collecting information on Parkinson's. I also will not run over all the stats as earlier speakers did, but Parkinson's affects over 1 million folks in America and 90,000 more are diagnosed each year. The national cost associated with Parkinson's is approximately $52 billion per year, and that is projected to rise to $80 billion by 2037. As an earlier speaker mentioned, according to the CDC, Parkinson's disease is the second most common and the fastest growing neurological disorder worldwide. And the direct and indirect cost to care for the over 10,000 people, which we believe to be an undercount, living with Parkinson's in Nevada is to the cost of $484 million per year. Finding new treatments and ultimately a cure will not only benefit the health and livelihood of the Parkinson's community, but would save hundreds of millions of dollars each year. And on behalf of the Fox Foundation and the patients that we support, we urge members to support SB 390. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much for joining us. Any additional support online? BPS, go ahead when you're ready.
That concludes all callers testifying in support.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City. Seeing none. Las Vegas, seeing none. BPS, phone lines. Do we have anyone in opposition?
If you would like to testify in opposition for SB 390, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in opposition.
Thank you
at this
very
time.
much. Anyone in neutral here in Carson City? Seeing none in Las Vegas, BPS, phone lines. Anyone in neutral?
If you would like to testify in neutral for SB 390, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in neutral.
Thank you very much. And with that, Senator, any closing remarks? All right, with that, I will close the hearing on Senate Bill 390, and we will move to the Department of Taxation. One-shot appropriation bills. There are 4. Senate Bills 465, 466, 467, and 489. All make one-shot appropriations for the Department of Taxation for various purposes. And I believe we have Joe Bernardi, Adrian Roberts-Larson, and Joy Grimmer here to give us some information. And we'll begin with Senate Bill 465, and then we'll move through the other one-shot bills. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning. Thank you, Chair and members of the committee, for the opportunity to speak about SB 465. My name is Jennifer Roebuck, Deputy Director of Compliance for the Department of Taxation. With me today, I have Adrian Roberts-Larson, Deputy Director of Administration. The department is requesting $605,600 for the costs of a feasibility study, followed by a request for proposals of a sales tax accelerated real-time system, which we're calling STARTS. Conceptually, STARTS is a technological advancement for collecting sales tax in real time. The goal of this program is to provide a solution to both assist small businesses in their tax management and the state in its tax collection efforts. In any case, participation by taxpayers would be convenient and beneficial, preserving the desirable voluntary compliance aspect of business in Nevada. This proposal came from an idea that was presented in the budget concept analysis last year. The department seeks to provide and promote effective and efficient taxpayer experiences while finding solutions to narrow the tax gap. The tax gap is the difference between the actual tax liability, whether or not it's been identified, versus the tax reported and paid. The department is also interested in distributing tax revenue to fund the state's programs more quickly. A potential indirect benefit is an increase in everyday customers' trust that the sales tax they're paying to a retailer is going to the state to benefit their communities. We recognize this is an ambitious undertaking, and as such, we're proposing a feasibility study to examine this possibility. First, I'd like to describe the present state of tax collections and the potential future state, which is the focus of this feasibility study. For decades, retailers have been required to collect sales tax at the point of sale, and they're required by law to keep the sales tax in a separate account in trust for the state until they file the return and remit the sales tax they collected. For a regular monthly filer, it could be a couple of months that the sales tax remains in a retailer's possession. During that time, the tax money is at risk of being spent elsewhere. In fact, this is one of the more common errors that the department employees encounter. When a taxpayer fails to keep sales tax it collects separate as payable to the state, somehow that tax money is spent, and then they default on the tax payment. As technology advances, there are ways to mitigate this risk. An optimum real-time system would transfer sales tax directly to the state at the point of sale at the transaction level. The real-time system would, in effect, bypass taxpayers' bank accounts and mitigate collection risks. It would help department employees be more efficient in auditing and collecting taxes and closing that tax gap. For a little background, similar technology known as continuous transaction control is used in Europe and other parts of the world to essentially clear e-invoices in real time, like a clearinghouse. Many of the global businesses that do business in Nevada are already complying with some version of real-time e-invoicing clearance in other parts of the world. Other states have proposed this technology without success because they've made it a mandate and have not provided the resources or the time to implement. We're not proposing a mandatory system, as it risks Nevada's reputation as a business-friendly state. But we're not alone in the vision that this will be the tax collection norm in the future, and it's only a matter of time. Implementation of STARTS would allow for real-time transfer of taxes from the retailer directly to the department, promoting prompt retailer remittance and increasing department collections. Point-of-sale systems would deposit sales tax directly into the state's account and bypass the taxpayer's bank account altogether. STARTS would reduce costly calculation errors, manual posting, delinquencies, lockbox exceptions, and the inadvertent use of the state tax money for other expenses. The service is useful for businesses that desire to lessen the burden of making that lump sum payment every reporting period. Providing this service on a voluntary basis would be perceived as a taxpayer service in line with Taxpayer Bill of Rights. Nevada's tax system would maintain the desirable voluntary compliance aspect while moving forward in real-time technological advances to benefit small business and other businesses looking for ways to be compliant without the burden and risks of self-reporting. Thank you for your consideration this morning, and we'll do our best to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Any additional questions for Senator Neal?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So it's gonna be easier to do a refund?
Thank you, Senator Neal. Through you, Madam Chair, to Senator Neal, Jennifer Webick for the record. That is one of the questions that would hopefully be answered as with the result of this feasibility study. The department has a lot of questions with how this could be rolled out and implemented. Because it has been proposed by several states already. We feel that this warrants a fresh look at this approach, and I think that would be definitely part of that study.
Senator Titus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Question I had, would it be a cost to a business to sign up to this, or would it be something the state would offer at no charge for the business? It's obviously technology, there's going to be some licensures, et cetera, so just curious, or are you still waiting for the study to know?
Thank you for the question, Madam Chair. Through you to Senator Titus, Jennifer Robick for the record. This again is another question we're hoping to reveal some of the answers to with this study. We've looked at a number of things that could happen, certainly. This could be something that maybe we need to propose legislation to perhaps either take our collection allowance and help pay for it that way, or possibly we take a look at our current security legislation or law to make sure that perhaps a retailer who voluntarily participates does not have to have a surety bond or have a cash security on record or on their account. So these are any number of things, any number of approaches. I know that there is currently one large tax compliance software business that does provide this service for a monthly fee. So there's definitely ways to do this. But again, this would be hopefully something that would be encouraged for small businesses to partake in. Hopefully this would help the small business not only have the revenue dollars to go directly into the community, but also be able to say that their taxes are going directly to the state and to their local community much more quickly.
Additional questions? Okay, with that, thank you very much. And we will go to support on Senate Bill 465. Seeing none, support in Las Vegas. Seeing none, BPS, we'll go to the phone lines.
If you would like to testify in support of SB 465, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in support at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in the room in Carson City. Seeing none in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone lines. BPS, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in opposition to SB 465, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in opposition at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral. Please go ahead when you're ready here in Carson City.
Thank you, Chair Dunderloop, members of the committee. My name is Connor Kane, testifying on behalf of the Nevada Bankers Association. We share the overall goals of the department as they relate to efficiency and capturing revenue, but do want to ensure the parameters of the study are such that the system is positive for businesses, payment processing stakeholders, the state, and also that this doesn't make Nevada an outlier. Like the department said, they have a number of questions. We do have some questions as well, and our hope is to partner with them as they move forward with this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional neutral? Seeing none in Las Vegas, BPS, is there anyone in neutral on the phone lines?
If you would like to testify in neutral for SB 465, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in neutral at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, any closing remarks? Not seeing any. We'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 465 and we'll open the hearing on Senate Bill 466. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you. Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the Senate Finance Committee. For the record, my name is Joe Bernardi. I'm the Deputy Director for Information Technology for the Department of Taxation. Here to testify on Senate Bill 466. This is a one-shot appropriation of $378,560 from the State General Fund for the cost of a contract with an information technology consultant to perform backlog of updates for the Unified Tax System, or UTS. For some background, Taxation's IT division supports all aspects of the Unified Tax System, including the IT infrastructure, custom application development, production support, and help desk. All changes, enhancements, bug fixes, and major initiatives to the UTS system are performed by Taxation IT division personnel. Successful completion of these tasks is critical to maintain a stable and secure and reliable information technology infrastructure to support the agency's mission of collecting and distributing revenues. The IT division resources are consumed on a day-to-day basis by operations which consist of video conferencing support for public meetings, UTS batch operations support, updating and patching existing software and hardware platforms, maintaining backups for recovery, restoration, disaster recovery, and business continuity, hardware replacement, server resource management, and data/code migrations that enable system fixes and enhancements. In the last 3 years, Taxation has had to create a path for the marijuana division to become a standalone board, incorporated credit card processing into our online tax system, implemented a tax amnesty program to help the state through a difficult financial time due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and implement new tax types per legislation, such as the peer-to-peer transportation tax and gold and silver excise tax. Concurrently, we have lost institutional knowledge while recruiting IT talent capable of supporting and maintaining the aging UTS system has become increasingly more difficult. Additionally, when UTS system enhancements are not implemented timely, we see an upward trend in end-user created workarounds and manual processes to support business needs. Taxation IT division maintains a list of backlog items that need to be addressed for UTS to function and fulfill business needs. Each backlog item requires programming changes, IT infrastructure changes, or security fixes. Every odd year, legislation brings changes in statutes that consume the same IT resources and need to be implemented in a timely manner. To implement the changes, IT places some of the projects on hold during the implementation period. This backlog is steadily increasing, and we are unable to timely address those backlog items. This request is for the Information Technology Division to contract with MSA Programmer to help work on the operations backlog. MSA contractors are quicker and easier to hire than FTEs, as contracting agencies have a pool of candidates at the ready. MSA contractors also provide more flexibility, as we can hire for different skill sets as needed. One more piece of information to consider is that Taxation is currently undertaking Project Mint, Modernize Your Nevada Tax, to replace the aging Unified Tax System with a modern commercial off-the-shelf system, but full implementation of the new system is still 3 to 4 years out. With that, I'm happy to stand for any questions the committee may have.
Thank you very much. Anything from you? All right, any questions on Senate Bill 466? Seeing none, you're off the hook. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And with that, I'll go to support for Senate Bill 466. Seeing none in Las Vegas. BPS, phone lines. Is there anybody on the phone lines for support of Senate Bill 466?
If you would like to testify in support of SB 466, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in support at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, on the phone lines, BPS, opposition.
If you would like to testify in opposition for SB 466, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in opposition at this time.
Thank you very much. Neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines, BPS.
If you'd like to testify to neutral for SB 466, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in neutral at this time.
Thank you very much. Any closing comments? Seeing none, we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 466 and move on to Senate Bill 467. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Good morning, Chair and committee members. For the record, my name is Adrienne Roberts-Larson, Deputy Director of Administrative Services for the Department of Taxation. SB 467 is a one-shot appropriation of the general fund to the Department of Taxation for the relocation of its Carson City office in the amount of $1,454,948. Due to an inadvertent error when this decision unit was turned into a one-shot appropriation, the Year 1 rent increase was deleted and replaced with the Year 2 rent increase amount. This appropriation should be updated to reflect $1,479,418. The department has need to find a location that better suits the needs of the department, staff, and the public. The department has need for additional meeting space to better accommodate commission and board meetings, a cash count room, and training rooms to be used by staff and the public. The current location is in need of major renovation. The facilities issues in the current building are progressive, and we feel it is crucial to make this request prior to further and substantial deterioration. The current landlord has not made the necessary improvements or repairs, which has resulted in additional work on department staff and uncomfortable, potentially hazardous working conditions. Further, these issues have the potential to compromise equipment and records, thus having a negative fiscal impact to the state. It is important for the department to provide our employees and the public with a safe, professional, and well-maintained environment in which to conduct the business of the state. This concludes my testimony for SB 467. Thank you for your time this morning, and we are happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the committee? Seeing none, we'll go to support of Senate Bill 467. Seeing none in Carson City, none in Las Vegas, BPS, phone lines, please.
If you would like to testify in support of SB 467, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in support at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, Las Vegas, BPS, on the phone lines.
If you would like to testify in opposition for SB 467, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers to testify in opposition at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City. In Las Vegas, I see none. And on the phone lines, please, BPS.
If you would like to testify in neutral for SB 467, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in neutral at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, any closing comments?
No, ma'am.
Thank you very much. We'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 467, and we'll go to Senate Bill 489. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you again, Madam Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Joe Bernardi. I'm the Information Technology Director, Deputy Director for the Department of Taxation. I'll give you the short version. Senate Bill 489 is a one-shot appropriation of general fund for information technology projects and equipment, employee training, and a replacement money counter machine. Section 1 of the bill provides funding of $64,500 to modernize the internet website platform for the department. Section 2 of the bill provides funding of $10,861 for the cost of employee training and attendance of conferences. Section 3 of the bill provides funding of $33,329 for the replacement of a money counter machine. Section 4 of the bill provides funding of $562,600 for the replacement of computer hardware and associated software. This will replace 50 computers in fiscal year 24 and 182 computers in fiscal year 25 that are due for replacement in line with the state's computer replacement policy. Section 5 of the bill provides funding of $12,128 for the replacement of uninterruptible power supply equipment. Section 6 of the bill provides funding of $586,066 for the replacement of an information technology backup system. This is also in line with state computer replacement policy. And Section 7 of the bill provides funding of $110,109 for licenses to upgrade the computer operating systems of the department to Windows 11. The total general one-shot fund request is $1,379,593. And this concludes our testimony. Thank you for the time on this matter, and we stand ready to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you very much. And with that, are there any questions? Senator Tice.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Early in this process of budgets, it's my understanding that we heard, and this is really for staff, and had a discussion about these. They were in the governor's budget, and we asked questions about these money counting machines, and I think Mr. Thorley and I had a discussion about that because we knew the treasurer was trying to look at a method that we could, the cash that we do receive, hopefully we would minimize that in the future. And I'm wondering, is this in addition to what was in that budget request, or is this that budget request?
Mr. Thorley, would you please go ahead?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record. LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. Senator Titus, this is the request that you're mentioning.
Thank you very much. Any additional questions or comments? Seeing none, thank you very much. And we'll go to support of Senate Bill 489. Seeing none in Las Vegas, we'll go to the phone lines. BPS, support for 489.
If you would like to testify in support of SB 489, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in support at this time.
Thank you very much. And we will go to opposition here in Carson City. Las Vegas, go to BPS. Phone lines, please.
If you would like to testify in opposition to SB 489, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in opposition at this time.
Thank you very much. And we'll go to neutral here in Carson City, Las Vegas, and to the phone lines, please, BPS.
If you would like to testify in neutral for SB 489, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in neutral at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, any closing comments? Seeing none, we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 489. Thank you very much. And we will open the hearing on Senate Bill 470 and 471, 472, 473, 474, and 492. Department of Conservation and Natural Resources, one-shot appropriations. There are 6. And here to present the bill is the famous or infamous Director Settlemeyer. Welcome, sir. We're happy to see you, and you've got lots of work for us, so get going.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate it. Thank you to the Committee of Senate Finance for hearing these appropriation bills today. We'll start off with Senate Bill 470, which makes an appropriation to the State Department of Conservation and Natural Resources for deferred maintenance projects. Specifically, I'll have Bob Mergill come down from Nevada State Parks to discuss, if you wish, in further detail, the $10,417,316 request for deferred maintenance of those projects, and I'll have NDF, Eric Antle, come down to discuss the $1,169,184 discussion of deferred projects, if you wish, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. And with that, are there any questions or comments? Okay, Senator Wynn.
I have a quick question. Would this be for the proposed, I know we had heard about this in the subcommittee, the proposed creation of a new visitor center?
Thank you, Senator Wynn. I believe that you're discussing the concept of the Valley of Fire Visitor Center, or are you discussing the other one in relation to...
Never mind. I moved ahead. I'll pass on that. Maybe you can remember it next time.
You can get another go around in a minute. All right. Any questions from anyone? Thank you very much. And with that, we will go to support here in Carson City, support in Las Vegas, support on the phone lines. BPS, go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you, Chair. If you would like to, sorry. If you'd like to testify in support of SB 471, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in support at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, and on the phone lines. BPS, opposition, please.
If you would like to testify in opposition for SB 471, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in opposition at this time.
Thank you very much. And we'll go to neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas, on the phone lines. Neutral.
If you would like to testify in neutral for SB 471, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in neutral at this time.
Thank you very much. Any closing comments? If not, we'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 470, and we'll go to Senate Bill 471. Go ahead when you're ready, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. James Settlemeyer, Director of Conservation and Natural Resources. 471 makes appropriation of state parks for $14 million for the next phase of Valley of Fire State Park. You know, the total cost is about $30 million is estimate as of now. We're getting through the planning stage. This gets us into the next portion. With that, Madam Chair, we have Bob Miguel from State Parks and Brandon Bishop to answer any particular questions on this particular request, which previously it was stated there was one. So with that, I would step away and allow them to answer questions, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Senator Wynn. Now do you want to ask your question?
Thank you. I'm just curious if this allocation would be to renovate the current visitor center, or if this was what we had talked about in the subcommittee about relocating and building a new visitor center.
Good morning, and thank you for the question. Bob Miguel, Administrator for the Division of State Parks. So this will be relocating the visitor center. The current location doesn't allow us to expand the footprint, so we can't expand what's there.
And what would happen with the existing, or what are the ideas for the existing visitors location? Would it be closed completely, or would it just be in an auxiliary, I guess, building?
Again, Bob Miguel for the record, Administrator for Division of State Parks. Our preferred option would be to convert that into a restaurant that would be then operated as a concession. That's a conceptual right now, but that's what I would love to see happen out there, because it's a bit of a drive to get to any kind of a food establishment. So I think that would do exceptionally well, but that is not contemplated in this cost.
Thank you. It's my favorite state park.
Thank you very much. All right. Any additional questions? Okay, seeing none, thank you very much. With that, we'll go to support of Senate Bill 471. Seeing none, we'll go to Las Vegas and the phone lines, please. BPS, when you're ready.
If you'd like to testify in support of SB 471, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in support at this time.
Thank you very much. Anyone in opposition to Senate Bill 471 here in Carson City? Seeing none. Las Vegas, seeing none. BPS, please go to the phone lines when you're ready.
If you'd like to testify in opposition for SB 471, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in opposition at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City. In Las Vegas, on the phone lines. BPS, go ahead when you're ready.
If you'd like to testify in neutral for SB 471, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in neutral at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll close. Any closing remarks, Director? With that, we'll close Senate Bill 471 and we'll go to Senate Bill 472. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Senate Finance Committee. James Settlemeyer, Director of Conservation Natural Resources. Senate Bill 472 makes an allocation of over $600,000 to Division of Water Resources for the South Fork Dam project. We have Adam Sullivan here from Division of Water Resources to answer any questions if you need, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the committee? Seeing none. With that, we will, okay, I don't see any questions. Thank you very much. We'll go to support here in Carson City. We'll go to support in Las Vegas and on the phone lines, BPS, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in support of SB 472, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in support at this time.
Thank you very much. Anyone in opposition in Carson City, Las Vegas, on the phone lines, BPS, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in opposition for SB 472, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in opposition at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to neutral here in Carson City, Las Vegas, BPS, on the phone when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in neutral for SB 472, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll close the hearing unless you have any comments. Director, we'll go to Senate Bill 473. Thank you very much. Go ahead when you're ready.
Thank you, Madam Chair. James Settlemeyer, Director of Division of Conservation and Natural Resources. I want to thank Senate Finance for hearing Senate Bill 473 today. Makes an appropriation to Division of Water Resources for a study of extreme rainfall events of $650,000. Adam Sullivan is here as a state engineer to answer any questions that may come up in that respect. After this year, it's probably a good thing to study these extreme events.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Senator Gocochea.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Maybe if Mr. Sullivan's available, who's going to do this? Is it going to be a contractor, or are we just going to call the local weather bureau, or, you know, $650,000? Explain to me how this is going to work.
Thank you for the question. Adam Sullivan, for the record, Nevada State Engineer. This would be done on a contract basis. It's similar to how other Western states have approached the same issue that we all have in common.
Thank you. If I may, Madam Chair, then
Yes.
we're talking DRI or somebody like that who's going to do this program.
Yeah, Adam Sullivan, for the record, that's a possibility. There's a number of other contractors, and so this would be something that would go out to bid.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Senator Neal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, how many extreme rain events do you expect to occur? I mean, it's just an odd bill.
Adam Sullivan for the record. The intent of this study is to get a better understanding of what the magnitude and frequency of those extreme events would be, and the advantages are that you could then use those results for design of dams and other critical infrastructure and do a risk assessment for existing conditions. And the reason for doing it now is that a lot of the data that we base those assessments on now rely on pretty old data. So we have a lot more to work with now to benefit public safety.
So, Madam Chair, follow-up. So you have the appropriation date of June 30th, 2025, and then there's a secondary date. That June 30th, 2025 date is because it's going to take you 2 years to identify someone to do the study?
Adam Sullivan for the record. That's the duration that it would take to find someone to do the study and then complete the analysis and publish the work.
And then the secondary date of September 19, 2025 is your catch-all?
Mr. Thorley, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis Division. So Senator Neal, the date of September 19, 2025 that you see in this bill is standard language that LCB Legal includes on bills for one-shot appropriations. It is the last day by which money can be expended. So the obligation date or the committed for expenditure date is the end of the biennium, and then that September date is the last date that the actual money can be spent, so it can be recorded in the controller system before the closeout of the fiscal year.
Thank you very much. Senator Titus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have some questions along the same line as Senator Gogachia. I attended in September, I think, or maybe October, a meeting at the Desert Research Institute on drought surveillance. And you know, now that it's been raining, now we want to do a study on predicting extreme rain events. And so much of this data is retrospect. That's what we have. We have rain extreme events in 97, 2017, 2023, and it's all conjecture, really. And I worry that if we have institutions in our state that are already doing this, and for you to say, let's put out the contract and look at some potential folks from other locations, et cetera, I worry about the duplication of it, because I know the DRI, they're there and they have this data. So anything in the future is just, again, conjecture. So I worry again about this amount of money, repetitive studies, literally unpredictable events. And so I question the sensibility of this, especially now that I'm hearing you're going to put it out the contract. And I worry about that. And that's more of a statement, but maybe you justify what you don't know? I mean, it just seems like it's a lot of money to go to stuff to say, well, maybe we'll have a 20-year drought, but maybe we'll have rain in 2 days. And my weather forecast is I look at my rock in my front yard, and if the rock's wet, it's raining. If it's dry, it's dry. And if it's in the shadow, it's cloudy. So give me an explanation on why you feel this is really justified.
Adam Sullivan for the record. The focus here is on extreme high precipitation events, and currently the study that we do these projections on was developed in 1977, so we've got another 40 to 50 years of data to add to what we know and build out more defensible design storms. It's not redundant with the work that you're referring to at DRI, and in fact would be complementary to other existing studies. There are, coming up with design storms for flood protection is a critical element of all engineering design. Here what we're looking at is the maximum, the probable maximum flood that we would have to design for. And that's a critical that's a critical thing, especially in dam design, but also with other applications.
Follow-up, Madam Chair? So we look now, and I have riverfront property, and I'm following the dams and all the dams that in my 6 districts or 6 counties that I represent, and we look at 100-year data. We look at those things when people build and permits, et cetera. And so are you going to do any better than what the 100-year data that we already have?
Adam Sullivan for the record. Yes, we intend to improve on that data based on the information that we've gathered over time. The longer we have are collecting data at different points, we can see trends. We can get a better handle on the confidence level of those extreme events, and we can project out beyond a 100-year time frame as well.
Thank you very much. Any additional questions? I have a question. When you talked about looking for contractors, how long do you think that will take you? Do you think it will be anybody other than DRI or somebody within our state? And I guess the third part of that is, what if you didn't find a contractor or award this? What would happen to the money?
Adam Sullivan for the record. I'm not concerned about not finding a contractor. We don't have a predetermination on where this would go. I do believe that DRI is an entity that may be able to do this. In other states that we've talked to in recent years, they've used other contractors, and in fact, we've talked to some out-of-state contractors on how they've approached this in other Western states to get an estimate of the cost. But we don't have any predetermination of where this contract would go.
Madam Chair, to follow up, if
yes, please.
money was not expended, to answer us that question, I believe it would revert back.
Mr. Thorley, do you have some information on if the money was not needed?
Thanks, Madam Chair. Wayne Thorley for the record, LCB Fiscal Analysis. Yes, pursuant to subsection 2 of section 1, so any money not expended for this study committed for expenditure by June 30th, 2025 would be reserved for reversion to the general fund.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to confirm that. And I would prefer, if this moves forward, that we use somebody within our state and we're not giving money out of state, but that's to be seen. All right, any other questions? Thank you very much. And with that, we'll go to those in support of Senate Bill 473. Seeing none in Las Vegas, BPS, we'll go to the phone lines.
If you would like to testify in support of SB 473, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in support at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City. In Las Vegas, to the phone lines. BPS, when you're ready. Opposition.
If you would like to testify in opposition of SB 473, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in opposition at this time.
Thank you very much. And we'll go to neutral here in Carson City. In Las Vegas, on the phone lines, BPS, when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in neutral for SB 473, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in neutral at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll close the hearing unless you have any closing comments, Senator.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate the discussion. I also hope that it's an in-state contractor, and considering that they may already have all the information, we should probably be able to get this done hopefully cheaper, thus reverting more money to the next legislative session. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll close the hearing, Director, and we'll go to Senate Bill 474.
Thank you, Madam Chair. James Settlemeyer, Director of Division of Conservation and Natural Resources. Senate Bill 474 makes an appropriation to Nevada Outdoor Recreation of $250,000 for the concept of outdoor education for recreation grant. This is a program that was started many years ago. Unfortunately, there has been no funds for the discussion of the outdoor recreation. I understand that there's been some concern and discussion from various areas. I think of myself on the ranch. Traditionally, when I want to do outdoor recreation, I have the pleasure and opportunity to just walk around the ranch for 2 to 3 miles and unfortunately look at all the things I need to tell other people to get done. But as we know, when you live in Las Vegas or maybe densely populated Washoe County, it's not as easy to get outdoors. So this is just an effort to try to get those resources out. It is something that has been discussed by the governor in cooperation with the speaker to acquire this set of funds for this purpose. With that, we have Denise Baronio. If you wish, she can testify as to more details on this particular matter, but that is up to you, Madam Chair.
Go ahead, please.
Good morning, Administrator for the Nevada Division of Outdoor Recreation, Denise Baronio, for the record. The SB 474, the Nevada Outdoor Recreation and Education Grant Program, was designed to improve academic achievement and physical health while fostering an appreciation of nature through outdoor experiences. The division already has pieces in place to get the program up and running to help create opportunities to build academic performance, self-esteem, personal responsibility, community involvement, personal health, and an understanding of nature. We have a dedicated education lead on our team. Her name is Kendall Scott, and she and I have already begun meeting with school district superintendents to help get funds on the ground. This bill just isn't about funding the present, it's about funding the future and providing kids with the opportunity and knowledge about careers in forestry, conservation, environmental science, and wildlife conservation, as well as mining, and a love for the unique resources in the great state of Nevada. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And with that, I'll see if there's any questions. Okay, seeing none. With that, we'll go to the phone lines for, or first we'll go to Carson City for support. We'll go to Las Vegas to the phone lines. BPS, when you're ready for support.
If you would like to testify in support of SB 474, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in support at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City. In Las Vegas, BPS, phone lines, please, opposition.
If you would like to testify in opposition of SB 474, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in opposition at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, we'll go to neutral here in Carson City. Las Vegas, phone lines, when you're ready, neutral, please.
If you would like to testify in neutral for SB 474, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Madam Chair. I'm apologizing. This is Dora Martinez. I actually wanted to call in support. May I please proceed?
Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning to you all. I sincerely hope that when you all pass this bill, that you do not forget people with disability, and especially K-12. We do need accessible, inclusive, diverse, and equitable outdoor activities for all. Thank you so much for everything you do. Take care.
Thank you very much. Anyone else in neutral for Senate Bill 474 on the lines?
Apologies, Madam Chair. I'm also calling in support, but I missed the opportunity. May I proceed?
Please go ahead.
Okay. Good morning, Chair, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Shelby Swartz of Battleborn Progress. We are in very strong support of SB 474. Nevada provides abundant opportunities for residents and visitors to find a connection to outdoor spaces through recreation. However, a lack of financial and economic resources often excludes underserved youth and their families from fully experiencing the array of land, water, and wildlife activities in our state. With this appropriation, we would be investing in getting Nevadans to connect with our natural resources and also investing in our outdoor economy. Please support SB 474. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Anyone else on the phone lines, BPS?
That concludes all callers, Chair.
Thank you very much. And with that, any closing remarks? We'll close the hearing on Senate Bill 474, and we'll go to Senate Bill 492 and open the hearing. Go ahead, please, Director.
Thank you, Madam Chair. James Settlemeyer, Director of Conservation and Natural Resources. Appreciate the opportunity to introduce Senate Bill 492, which discusses various aspects 1 through 17 of funds to the state of Nevada, mainly for replacement of aging equipment and also vehicles. The optimal point generally for vehicles and best time to replace them to ensure that they don't have higher operating cost and repair expenses. The most current thing we have currently within the state motor pool is the recommendation or the rule of that was put out in 2017 to 2019, stating that if once a vehicle hits 10 years of age, over 100,000 miles if it's a sedan, 125,000 if it's a pickup truck or some other type of equipment, it should be replaced. And I believe the computer number, please don't hold me to this, is something in the neighborhood if once the equipment is 10 years old, it should be replaced, hardware and or software. That being said, that is the gist of the bill. I can go through it section by section, 1 through 17, Madam Chair, and probably have to phone a friend in that respect, or we can just bring up individual sections as you wish, Madam Chair.
I'm going with option 2, and we'll see if there are any questions on any of the sections that list various amounts of money that the department may need. Senator Titus.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Specifically, Section 10, the helicopter, $5 million. Wondering what current helicopters we have and its purpose is helicopter to fight fires with. So is it going to be more of a surveillance? Will it be used and rented out to end out account our wildlife? And what's the purpose of this particular helicopter?
Thank you, Madam Chair. To you, through you, or can I go direct to the Senator, Madam Chair? Senator Titus, I appreciate the question. Having to run out during the middle of some of these most recent high water events and fly up to Lincoln, Nevada, it was kind of interesting to say the least. Luckily, they chose the newest helicopter they had, and I was happy that I was actually 2 years older than the helicopter, which is a little bit scary in that respect since it's a 1974 Bell. That being said, military surplus have done an excellent job in repairing that particular one. But again, that is the newest one within the fleet. I would like to allow Eric Antle from Nevada Division of Forestry to answer your question, but it would be used for fighting fire, if that's okay with you, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good morning. For the record, my name is Eric Antle, Deputy Administrator for the Division of Forestry. Through you, Madam Chair, to Senator Titus's question. The Division of Forestry currently operates 2 military surplus helicopters. One is a Bell 212 Eagle single for fire suppression, search and rescue, and other declared and non-declared emergencies, as our director had alluded to flying around in. 2 of these aircraft are state-owned, and the remaining one is on loan from the U.S. Forest Service under the Federal Excess Property Program. This request is to replace that U.S. Forest Service helicopter, which is 53 years old and has over 5,000 airframe hours on it. This aircraft is, there's also an issue with diminishing parts and inventory to conduct the maintenance on this aircraft. The replacement helicopter requested is for one new Bell 205 1++ Eagle single medium lift helicopter. This helicopter offers high performance with a low operational cost, roughly $650 to $750 flight hours, dollars per flight hour. And this is compared to the current operational cost, which is $2,000 per flight hour. Thank you.
Follow-up, Madam Chair? So where would you house this, number one? Number two, since the one you're replacing is on loan, I take it, obviously there's no value to that, so there was no cost to us, or we're required to maintain that one?
For the record, Deputy Administrator Eric Antle, through Madam Chair, to Senator Titus. There is no cost as far as purchasing the aircraft, aircraft through the program, and it is truly a maintenance cost. Unfortunately, with the aircraft being 53 years old, it comes with a high cost. And where it will be based at is we're out of the Minden Airport.
Minden Top.
Yeah, correct. But when in a time of need and working through our cooperators, all 3 helicopters can move when they are needed across the state.
And just from a fiscal note on this, so currently we're replacing one that's on loan to us. There's not an option to upgrade another one on loan versus the $5 million purchase price?
For the record, Eric Antel, Deputy Administrator, through Madam Chair to Senator Titus. That is currently not an option that we're aware of.
Thank you very much. And the total of this bill amount, just in case anybody is wondering, is $14.8 million. I personally wouldn't want to be in a 53-year-old helicopter, but I also would not want my forestry brother who flies those things periodically or is up in those things in them. But that's another discussion. So, so if there's not as the senator mentioned, an option to upgrade. So if we didn't confirm this amount for a helicopter, what would happen? Like, would we continue to use the 53-year-old helicopter, or is that not an option anymore either, so we would just have only 2?
For the record, Deputy Administrator Eric Antel. It's a great question. So we would continue to use the other 2 helicopters and keep the 53-year-old helicopter in service, and there would not be another option.
Okay, thank you. I don't know whether to be impressed that a helicopter is still flying after 53 years or scared. Thank you very much. Any additional questions? Senator Gocochea.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and I'm going to shift gears a little bit. Like you said, there was $14 million. There's about $4 million here in vehicles, command trucks, and trailers. Now, with our transition away from honor camp crews, for the most part, to civilian, I'm concerned about the capability of these trucks. You know, I don't want them showing up on a fire with a new paint job and a newer shovel in the back that's never been used, and because there's going to be some conflicts out there when they show up and start ordering volunteers around. So I just want a little insight to exactly what you're talking about in these vehicles. You know, I'd raised this in subcommittee as well. To not have at least a slide-in pump in those trucks is crazy to me, let alone having the ability. But I know you're going to go to a lot of civilian crews, and I assume they'll be running the command trucks. But I get a little bit nervous when we're getting some pushback, as you know, from the county participation in the wildland fire protection programs. And when you say a command truck, I don't want somebody showing up with a clean set of PPEs and a new paint job and think they're going to be accepted, because you're going to get some pushback. So just to comment exactly what these, you know, we're talking, you know, we've got a $5 million helicopter and $4 million worth of vehicles. Okay, what are we going to do with them?
I appreciate that, Madam Chair. If I could, directly to Senator Gocochea, I'll have Eric Antel elaborate on this further. I completely understand what you're saying. It also comes down to reality that these vehicles have surpassed their productive life, and they're costing us far more money now to repair and maintenance. And as you know, like with farm machinery, once it gets about 10 years old, trying to find a part sometimes is a little bit difficult, and that leaves us with broken down machinery. I had the fortune to attend the Fire Academy graduation just this last weekend, and they had just gotten last year some new cook shacks and things out there to roll out and help collect and cook food for individuals. And it was fascinating that the previous stuff that was surplus from California and from the Forest Service took 4 to 6 hours to set up, when this new one could roll in, lower down, and start cooking in 40 minutes. And so it just really sped up the time frame to facilitate things for those individuals. But I appreciate your concern, and we'll have Mr. Eric Antel answer a little bit more on that particular question.
If I may, Madam Chair, just to
Please,
comment.
go ahead, sir.
Your new cook shacks, of course, that didn't come without some pushback from the private sector, the fact that why was NDF supplying those cookjacks on these fires when,
Yes.
when in fact there was private sector.
I appreciate that, Senator
Willing to
Gokachia.
bid.
In that respect, it was interesting to find out that there's a general rule within the Federal Forest Service. I believe it's something in the neighborhood if you're only feeding below 400 or 500 individuals. NDF can do that. Otherwise, prior, it has to, above that number, it actually has to go out for bid. But it's also fascinating that as much as I like to defer to individual private businesses in that capacity, generally when the fire starts getting bigger or fire season starts getting larger, they want to go to the fires that have 2,000 to 3,000 people that will be paying them, and they start to not care about the smaller fires or what they consider to be a smaller fire. But no, I appreciate those concerns, but we'll let Mr. Annell elaborate more on those questions.
Thank you, Director. Through Madam Chair, or to, through Madam Chair, to the Senator Gokachia, for the record, Eric Antel, Deputy Administrator. Senator, we hear your concerns, and I would just like to remind the committee that ultimately all of these pieces of equipment, they do go to fire suppression, but largely the mission of Division of Forestry is to preserve and conserve natural resources across the state. So daily, within Section 13 is the command trucks within the bill, and within that section, it's 17 command trucks that are used daily they all meet the SAM requirement of 1316. They range in age from 1996 to 2014. And all of NDF staff utilize these pieces of equipment daily to do administrative functions, as well as tow wood chippers and portable bathroom and tool trailers on projects when they're not responding to a wildland fire. Is also within Section 14, which is the 47 portable toilets and tool trailers. These trailers will continue to serve with the inmate workforce we have, but with the addition of the fire fuels crews that work daily on conservation-related projects and forest health, it is important to have these tools and these restrooms available for the free staff crews and for inmate labor to keep compliance within local laws and reduce on waste on the site.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and clearly the numbers we're seeing out of DOC as far as inmate crews, I mean, we'll be lucky if between civilian crews and inmates, we run half the crews we had 2 years ago, so just for the committee. But anyway, we got to deal with what we got. I appreciate that, but please make sure they come to fight fire. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just have a quick question about the replacement of the trailers for the portable toilets and tools. Do we not rent those? We don't rent portable toilets?
Madam Chair, Eric Antel, Deputy Administrator, for the record. We do rent portable toilets for mostly around fire suppression, but for daily use, it is a specialized piece of equipment needed to carry not only the porta potty, the restroom, but also the tools, hand tools, chainsaw parts that cannot fit on the vehicle for daily use for conservation-related work.
Okay, thank you. And another question back to the replacement vehicles, the command vehicles. I may have missed this if you said this. How many I get that the size of the fire may be different, but how many command vehicles go to a fire? Is it like one, kind of like a city of Reno, if they go to a fire, one battalion chief probably goes, right? So how does that work?
Eric Antel, Deputy Administrator, for the record. Madam Chair, when the chief officer position, within leadership, and this does address to Senator Gokachia's concern, is this position that would respond to the fire in this piece of equipment, this command vehicle. So the purpose of this employee responding to the incident could be just for direct supervisory oversight. It could be for fiscal guidance to the Reno Fire Department, if you will, through the WFPP, to provide any assistance at the state level with submitting an FMAG request, a Fire Management Assistance Grant, as well as it could be a seasonal firefighter or 4 or 5 seasonal firefighters responding, because it would be more appropriate to use that four-wheel drive capacity vehicle compared to a large heavy rig crew truck on a single tree lightning fire. So it does truly vary, so it's somewhat difficult to answer your question.
And I also understand that, you know, on different fires, we have different amounts of people, right? We could have 400 on a fire, 400 guys in tents on a fire, or we could have 1,000, or we could have 5. I don't know, you know, depending on the fire. But were these particular items, Director, were these items somewhere else and now they're one-shots, or were they always one-shot? You know, it feels really weird talking about Forest Service and saying hot shots and one-shots, but can you clarify that for me?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm James Settlemeyer, Director of Conservation and Natural Resources. To my knowledge, they've always been in the one-shot category. I think it's important to realize that sometimes in Nevada we have multiple fires at the same time. So we have to have different people respond in different areas of the state. You know, I've seen several times 3 to 4 fires. It's not unusual until they grow into one big fire.
Correct. And does any of this money that are in the one-shots roll over, I don't know if that's the right word, but roll over into another state when they need help from our firefighters, like an Idaho fire or a California fire?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to defer to Eric Annell on that particular question. I know that the crews, you know, sometimes will fight across state lines, obviously, because sometimes they don't know where those state lines are. And there are several times when it's easier to go beat the fire when it's small in California before letting it drift over into Nevada, or worse, no offense, into Lake Tahoe Basin, which can be rather problematic. So there's always a desire to squash those when they're small, but it's not routine for NDF to go into other states for that particular matter. Usually it's contractors. However, within some of the helicopter work, yes, the helicopters on occasion will try to go into neighboring areas to prevent the fire. But again, if acceptable, I'd let Mr. Annell elaborate on that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Eric Antel, Deputy Administrator, for the record. To you, Madam Chair. So your question is, so within the jurisdictional footprint for the state and the Division of Forestry, it does overlap within our adjoining states through 25 air miles through that district zone. And we do have agreements with other states, California in particular, with a governor-to-governor's agreement, a sub-geo agreement to share resources as appropriate, but ultimately, and to the concern, and as all of you are aware of, with the staffing challenges that the Division of Forestry's seen, is we cover home base and the mission before we can allow our resources to go out to assist other states.
Okay, thank you very much. I guess I've been listening to my brother for a lot of years, and so I know just enough to be dangerous. Senator Wynn.
Thank you. I was having a conversation here with staff, and I think it would probably be wise to put it on the record. I just have a question. I know in hearing some of these budgets and some of the presentations from January on about some of these things, and I've seen, 15,000 for like section 16, 15,000 for replacement of computer hardware and associated software. And I was curious of why these weren't included in the underlying budget requests, and why they are all in here and why there's so many of them, because it seems pretty unusual. And I just want to get confirmation of perhaps why that is done from a budget standpoint, and I think Ms. Crockett might be able to elaborate on that, if that's okay, Chair.
Madam Chair, if allowable, I would have Kelly Williams discuss that particular aspect. Again, this is James Settlemeyer, the Director of Conservation and Natural Resources.
Okay, wonderful. And I know that our staff can also maybe clarify. Why don't I have you clarify first?
Kathy Crockett, Fiscal Analysis Division. The Governor's Office of Finance does determine what's in a one-shot or in the operational budget when they submit the executive budget. But just as a general comment, there was a large fiscal year 2023 surplus. So the decision may have been made to fund like replacement computer and equipment and software that might typically have been funded in the operational budget through one-shots, because these are coming out of FY23 funds. Some of the larger requests, like the replacement helicopter that was discussed, that is more typically funded through a one-shot appropriation bill.
And so I guess my question for you would be, is that part of the reasoning is that there was extra money in the fiscal year 23 budget? And so rather incorporating it in or making it out of operational costs of 24, 25, that we were putting it in there?
James Settlemeyer, Director of Conservation and Natural Resources. To be brutally honest, I wasn't here at that particular time. And as far as the making of the previous budget, that was done by the previous administration. I believe sometimes you get in situations when you have a new administration that they don't have enough time necessarily to completely overview the previous budget, and then after reviewing it and seeing other issues and problems, they sometimes decide to go with one-shots. That would be my personal opinion. With that, I could try to have Ms. Williams elaborate on that if you're okay with that, Senator.
Please go ahead.
Hi, good morning. My name is Kelly Williams, Chief Financial Officer for the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. And so a lot of these cases in these one-shot appropriations, especially for computer equipment and hardware, when we build our budgets, we are required to build within a general fund cap. These are all items that didn't fit within our cap. A lot of our agencies are very small. They have a very limited amount of general fund that really just supports their day-to-day operating. So anything that's over and above, like a computer replacement or other type of equipment, would be wouldn't fit within their general operating budget. We also, I believe, department-wide did not have any computer replacements in the current biennium, so this is also kind of covering 2 bienniums of computer replacements for our general funded agencies. So when we build our budgets, we have to ask for them in what we call items for special consideration. Those generally then are rolled from the governor's finance office and the governor's budget into a one-shot appropriation because they are over and above our normal general fund appropriation.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any additional information we need on this particular item? Okay, I think we've grilled you enough. Thank you very much. All right, with that, I will go to support of Senate Bill 492 here in Carson City, in Las Vegas. On the phone lines, please BPS when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in support of SB 492, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in support at this time.
Thank you very much. We'll go to opposition here in Carson City, in Las Vegas. On the phone lines, BPS when you're ready.
If you would like to testify in opposition to SB 492, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in opposition at this time.
Thank you very much. Neutral here in Carson City, in Las Vegas. On the phone lines, BPS.
If you would like to testify in opposition to neutral for SB 492, please press star 9 to take your place in the queue. We have no callers testifying in neutral at this time.
Thank you very much. And with that, Director Settlemeyer, are there any amendments out there to this particular bill? We had heard maybe there might be one.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm not aware of any amendments at this time that I've heard of. I'll look into that and get back to you. I thank you, though, for having the opportunity to listen to Department of Conservation and Natural Resources one-shot appropriation bills today. With that, Ms. Williams may have a clarifying statement, if I could, Madam Chair.
We have a phone a friend. I always love it. Go ahead, please, when you're ready.
Hi, Kelly Williams, Chief Financial Officer for Department of Conservation and Natural Resources. I think maybe the amendment you might be referring to is we are working on getting updated quotes for some of the larger equipment items, the specialized equipment, the fire trucks and other equipment that's not a standard replacement item. So we are working with LCB fiscal staff to provide those updated quotes. I know some of the quotes might have been provided late last week, and we hope to get the rest of them today, tomorrow, very soon for those updated items.
Thank you very much for that clarification. We look forward to seeing those things. Okay, with that, then I will close the hearing on Senate Bill 492. Thank you very much for your time today. With that committee, we are going to recess this particular committee because we will probably reconvene this evening. Time to be determined. I'm guessing 6 o'clock, but can't be 100% sure. So if anybody's like glued to this meeting and wants to come back, we'll let you know. So stay tuned. And with that, we are recessed. Thank you.